after this, the whole day, Mike.
Yeah.
His participation, what he said, how he sounded. Do you think they're any closer or farther away from a deal?
Close.
Why?
Closer. Because here's a telltale sign. Mike, go back to the days when you were covering the New England Patriots, as Bill Polian calls them. And if you had a contract dispute, the guy usually didn't talk. It was usually, hey, I'm no comment. I'm going to do my work. I'm going to let that, no comment right now. He's there. He's talking. He's relaxed. He's calm. We're going to let the two sides handle it. This is fine. This is a fake dispute. This is no real contract. This is no stalemate. This is no impasse.
How come it's not signed?
This thing is going to be done.
Well, why isn't it done then?
Because they're dotting I's and crossing T's and putting in commas and semicolons. This thing is done.
Okay.
This thing's done.
Okay. If it's done, is he the highest paid corner in the history of the game? Is he closer to the highest paid defensive players?
Well, no, I think corner. No, I wouldn't go there. No, because now you got Will Anderson making $50 million a year. Myles Garrett. I don't think they're going to pay him that. But I think he's going to be the highest paid corner because he's going to be the one who gets his deal done now. And once he gets his deal done, then others, unless, and here's the only other fly in the ointment here, Mike, is if he is waiting on somebody else. Let's say he's waiting on Witherspoon. Hey, you go first. You go first. You go first. All right, I'm better than you, but you go first. And then if you get 35, 36 million, I'm going to ask for 37. So that might be the only thing throwing it off. But I don't see any reason why it wouldn't get done.
Are you serious about that?
I'm serious.
Okay.
I am serious.
No. I mean, it might be close to being done, but you don't see any reason why it wouldn't?
No reason.
Okay. So
I'm serious. Tell me why it wouldn't get done.
Well, here's one simple reason, is that it's probably over $100 million guaranteed. And whether you have to pay that player the $100 million guaranteed up front or not, you have to put it into an escrow account. Okay, so the Crafts have to come up with whatever the guarantees are, $100, $120, $140 million, and take it out of whatever their investment account is and put it in some fakakta thing that they probably don't believe in. And this is why, Bert can talk about this better than anyone. This is something that never gets discussed, but that's not the cap, and it's not even how the money is paid out. It's that big escrow payment. So one reason why it's not getting done is because the owner is drawing 5, 6, 7, 8% on his investment, and he doesn't want to take it out of that and put it into this. And so that's why it doesn't get done.
Okay, maybe. I guess, listen, if Robert Kraft wasn't spending all his money at the Knicks game,
well, what do you think is usually that interest on?
I know, we'll talk about that later. But no, seriously. Come on. Don't. Is that a tear? Am I shedding a tear for Robert Kraft?
I'm just telling you the reality of why deals don't get done.
One of the most lucrative franchises in the world. And we're talking about what he's got in escrow and what he has to put away.
They're also the lowest payroll team in the NFL the last 10 years. And let me just say this.
So, no, you're talking about this is not can do, this is want to.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay, all right.
So, I mean, listen, I would be surprised. I would be surprised if at this stage Kayshon Gonzalez was willing to accept a contract that was somewhat reasonable, even somewhat reasonable, and I'd be surprised if Robert Kraft was willing to take all that money and pay him before he had to. So I'd be surprised if you were right that this was just a formality. Now, what if this drags on really long? Gonzalez was asked today if he'd play this season on his current contract. Here was his response.
We got a long time to the season, so we're still in pretty early in the offseason. I'm focused on being here, being here for the team, and doing my role and what I'm here for this weekend, and focused on that.
All right, Bert, tell us.
He certainly doesn't seem upset to me.
Joel, you know what? He talks with sort of a half smile on his face at all times. It's a little deceiving. Now, Bert, either you tell us what you know right now, or Holley's going to come over there and give you a slap. What do you know?
Buckeye on Buckeye crime. Come on.
Well, I can tell you that Gonzalez and Devon Witherspoon have the same agent. Gonzalez admitted himself that they've been talking. And I think both guys are looking to reset the market. This is just the way things go. This is not that difficult, guys. People make it out to be some sort of science. It's not. Look at other positions. Look at the edge rushers. Nick Bosa reset the market at $35 million. Then, less than a year later, you had Myles Garrett push.
Do you agree with Holley that this is just dotting I's and crossing T's?
I think it has to be 35. If you look at receiver, you look at edge rusher, they're $5 million jumps, right? And I think the mistake they could make here, Michael, is waiting for Devon Witherspoon, because the way Devon Witherspoon is going to look at this it's not just resetting the corner market. He's going to look at what his teammate just made.
Bert, do you think this is a formality like Holley just said?
I think if they want it to be one, it is. I don't think it's a formality right now, but I think if they want it to be, it's push it to $35 million, give them $100 million guaranteed, and you're probably done.
All right, Bert, what's the reason not to get it done? Is it what Felger said, that, hey, maybe the Crafts just don't want to spend that kind of cash right now
before they have to, right?
Or is there some doubt about Gonzalez the player and like how great he is? Like what do you think the
it can be a million it can be a million different things. Like in a lot of cases it's well, we don't want to set this precedent for other players, so now if we have another top player at his position, which by the way is a good problem to have, we got to pay them $5 million over the market. Sometimes the analytics people get involved and they say, well, this guy is worth X, Y, and Z, and you don't want to pay him more than that. And then, you know, of course, there's the positional value thing as well. And how do you view corner versus the other positions? Look, I think across the league, corner is seen as a premium position. Maybe not what a tackle or an edge rusher is, but right next to that, maybe in the same category as receivers. And again, at those positions, like every time the market goes up, it goes up by $5 million. You can look it up. Like when Justin Jefferson changed the market at receiver, it was from under 30 all the way up to 35. That happened because Nick Bosa had gotten 34 as a defensive end. That goes to 40 with Jamar Chase. In like less than a year's time with the edge rushers, it went from Myles Garrett at 40 to Micah Parsons at 46. Aiden Hutchinson got 45. Now Will Anderson's got 50. If you wait, this is just going to go up.
Okay, Bert.
So you gotta. I mean, you have to acknowledge. Like if you acknowledge he's a top player at his position and that is a premium position, then you pay the freight.
Quickly, when he says it's just my agents, you defer to my agents, it's up to my agents. I don't think that's a good thing to hear because, and you tell me now, his agents are not the kind of guys that take a dime less.
Yeah. Well, so his agent used to work for CAA, now works with Joel Siegel at Wynn Sports. Generally, that is an agency that has been cutthroat and has gotten top of the market. And look, like if you are leaving it up to your agent, what's your agent going to want to do? Your agent's going to want to get top dollar, and not just so his commissions are better, but because he can take that and recruit other people with it. So it's very important to the people around these players that they have market-changing contracts when they have players of this caliber.
Let me ask you this, Bert, real quick. You know, there was another part right before you came on. We have Mike Vrabel saying, hey, I don't get involved in contracts. Do you know that to be true? Is Vrabel involved at all with contractual stuff, or does he leave that to Richard Miller and Elliott Wolf and Matt Walsh and all those guys?
I mean, I think he probably has feasible deniability on that.
Not Matt Walsh.
Right? Like where he's not like sitting in there like typing out the terms. But do I think he has a say on how the roster's put together? Yeah, of course he does. And he has a say in how players are valued, and how players are valued determines how much they're paid.
Okay, well, so I hope he's involved.
He's not involved like in the negotiations. Maybe he's not sitting there. Like I don't think he's sitting there across the table from Christian Gonzalez's agent. Do I think he has a say in how much Christian Gonzalez is getting paid? Absolutely.
Okay, so
and I misspoke. Matt Walsh was the Spygate guy.
Video department.
No, he's Deflategate, right? No, he's Spygate.
You know, there's so many chain scandals, it gets hard
Matt
to
Walsh,
keep track.
Matt Groh, I meant Matt Groh.
But listen, I want Vrabel there to connect with Christian Gonzalez and be the conduit. You know, he's someone that can reach Christian Gonzalez as a man and a former player and help bring Christian Gonzalez to the table. So I hope Mike Vrabel is involved. If it's just like Elliott Wolf and John Kraft, no, they're not close. I think they need Mike Vrabel on this. Anyway, real quick, Bert, let's take a look at the Ford Big Board. Another player that reported to mandatory minicamp today was Kayshon Boutte. Boutte has been unspectacular but consistent over his last two seasons. He's gone over 500 yards in both of those years and had 6 touchdown receptions a year ago. Here he is today being asked if this is where he wants to be.
I mean, I wouldn't mind being here. I do want to be here, obviously. But, I mean, at the end of the day, like I say, I do want to be here. So whether that's X, Z, F, like just whatever I got to do, that's best for me, you know. So whether it's learning the playbook more, moving around. I mean, it's only one football. It's 5 of us, you know. But that's football at the end of the day. You don't know who it's going to.
How do you feel about playing on your existing contract?
I mean, it's something I got to do. If that's what I got to do, I got to do it at the end of the day. I can't control it.
Sounds to me like he ain't all that hot on being here. Bert, you tell me.
Yeah, there was a little nuance to what he said there. He said, you can play me at X, you can play me at Z, you can play me at F. Well, I think that relates to the fact that they just brought in a prototype X receiver in A.J. Brown, and that's the position that Kayshon Boutte's played the last couple of years. And look, like I don't blame Kayshon Boutte for having an issue with all of this, because This is really going to be about opportunity for him. Every player who comes into the NFL is looking towards that second contract and how can I get myself in position where I can get the truly life-changing money after 3 or 4 years. And now Kayshon Boutte is looking at the depth chart, looking at the receiver room, and probably asking himself, I had enough trouble getting the ball the last 2 years. How in the world is that going to happen this year? So, I think for Kayshon Boutte, this becomes about simple math. It's the math that goes into getting a big contract and how you get there. And then it's the math of the fact that there's just one ball. And there are how many people in the receiver room now that have experience getting it. And in particular, one that plays the spot that he's played over the last couple of years in A.J. Brown.
I'll just say quickly, Bert, I thought he was pretty good last year, Boutte. Do the Patriots just not agree? Do they look at him and say the numbers really don't tell the story of who they think he is?
I think they like him. I mean, I remember talking to people last summer about how he had really grown up, and I don't know that Mike Vrabel's staff had the best initial impression of him from the offseason program of 2025. And then he really came around and had a great summer and very productive. I think he answered the bell whenever they called on him in the fall. And so I think they do like him. I think part of the issue here, again, is that specific X receiver position. The best player that was available to them, the player that was the biggest difference maker, the player that they had the relationship with, happened to be an ex-receiver. And so that's been hanging over Kayshon Boutte for the last 2 or 3 months, which is part of the reason why he was on the trade market. And I can just tell you this, if they could have gotten a 5th-round pick for him over draft weekend, he'd be gone right now.